Hello, this is a support video for week 7 class clown C# activity. We went through this in a lesson, so I'll try and keep it fairly brief if I can. It's practice of object-oriented code. You need to make a class called clown, and we need it to be able to introduce himself, to juggle, and a few other things like that. So if we run it straight away, we have got a class definition, but it fails because it doesn't have a constructor that takes one argument. So this constructor accepts one parameter here called juggle head. That's the name of the clown. So we need to have a name. A name is a string. And then when we have a constructor, remember a constructor is just called when you make a new instance of that class. It needs to be public. It doesn't have a return value. And this particular constructor has a name. So now we've got two variables called name. We've got an attribute and we've got a parameter. We need to set the attribute, so we use this.name, and set that to the parameter. So that should hopefully fix the missing constructor. What error are we going to get next? Oh dear. Doesn't contain a definition for introduce. Right, let's have a look. So this is a method, it needs to be public, needs to be called introduce. Let's have a look and see what return type it is. So introduce means you give the clown an instruction and it will either respond hi, I'm, and then name, or if you don't say please, it just returns an empty string. So either way, it's a string. It might return an empty string, or if a certain condition is met, it's going to say, so it will return hi, I'm, and then the name that's stored in an attribute. Does it have an exclamation mark after hi? I can't see. Where are we? Where's the introduction? No exclamation mark. Great. So what's the condition? The condition is if the parameter that we receive, so string introduction, if that introduction contains the word please, but it needs to be case insensitive, as in it should work with any combination of capitals. So let's convert it to lower first, and then the output to that can then be checked to see if it contains please. This is called chaining. We run one function and return a value, and then with that return value we run another function on the result. Let's see if that works. Nope, failed the test, but hopefully we've got a little bit further. Okay, so the clown can introduce, but it can't juggle yet. So how do we teach a clown to juggle? Let's see. So juggling is either a spectacular success or a horrible failure. So that's bool, true or false, to see whether or not we succeed. When we juggle, we need to know how many balls we're juggling. So that is an integer. And then we've got some logic explained here. So 0 should always succeed. Anyone can juggle no balls. You can only juggle one ball if you've practiced at least once, and you need to practice 100 times before you're able to juggle 100 balls, apparently, according to this logic. So we need to keep track of how many times we've practiced. That sounds like an attribute to me. Let's call it attempts, and we'll set it to 0 at the start. So this is like an initial value. It's the same as setting it in the constructor. So here we go. If the number of attempts is greater than or equal to the number of balls we've been asked to ask. So this is the big advantage of object-oriented code. You can kind of break it up into logical, conceptual ways of thinking. If the number of attempts we've had is greater than or equal to the number of balls, then we can succeed. So that's return true, but not before we've kept track of the fact that we've just practiced. Okay, so if we don't succeed, we should return false, but we should also increase the number of times that we practiced. All right, that will do some of the logic, but not all of it, because the clown should refuse to juggle after retiring. What on earth is that all about? So when do we retire? Any clown who attempts to juggle more than 256 balls will decide to quit. They change their name to retired, and they will fail at all future attempts to juggle. So we need to keep track of, are we in active service or not? So let's say private bool retired, and we start not being retired. Okay, so if the number of balls we're asked to juggle is greater than 256, then we can change that Boolean flag called retired to be true. If we have retired, the name should be set to retired, and we should fail all of the time in our juggling attempts. So we should only succeed if we are not retired. All right, we're almost there, I think. But I think if you're retired, you shouldn't respond if you're introduced. Here we go. Jugglebrain the clown should remain silent when retired. All right, so if you're asked to be introduced, you should only respond if somebody says please and you're not on holiday, if you're not retired. Hopefully, this will work. Let's see. Awesome, well done. So well done to 4 of you who've managed to get this sorted already. Very exciting. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you soon.